So, are you guys able to hear me? Do let me know in the chat. So then we can start, I think. So, do you guys want to do a Q&A or we can solve some problems? I think there was some contest today. There was a 𝐻𝐸𝐴D beginner contest. There was also a lead code contest, and there was also an Amazon hiring contest few days back on Geeks for Geeks. We can try to solve that if you guys want. Amazon hiring. So this thing, there was Amazon contest, so we can also solve this if you guys want, or you guys can ask problems and we can talk about that. Let me connect my drawing pad as well. Today's lead code contest. Is there necessarily to be a kind of master apply for coordination? I don't think so. I think you will get the link even if you're expert or something, but it's hard to like crack the coding exam. So I gave the online assessment 2 times and I was able to solve 2 out of 3. So I think there's 1.5 hour. The first problem is very easy. You can do it in like 5 minutes. The second problem is around graphs, I think, and it takes around 30 to 40 minutes. And the last question is always about DP or recursion. So even if you're expert, you should be able to solve those 3 problems. I got past the coding round, and then I got a CCAT link. So that's basically the aptitude test. It had around 50 problems, and you had to solve 45 problems out of 50. I was able to solve 44, so I was not able to qualify for the intern position. Question 1 problem, Google question. Google what? So Rohit was saying lead code contest. We can also see the lead code contest. Do I have to sign in? I think I gave the lead code contest today. I was able to solve 3. I was not able to solve the 4th one, I think. So let's start with the jobathon and then we will move on to the lead code. Ad blocker. So we have 3 problems. Police station, Geekland Colosseum, road blockage. So do you guys want me to solve all 3, or you just want me to solve the 3rd one? Let me. Can CP alone help to get good internship? Yeah. So if you are applying for Sprinkler, Google, CP skills will be enough to land an internship, because they don't ask so much from development side, because they are more focused on CP. I think code forces is more than enough, Suraj. Like if you do a lot of code forces, you will be able to do good on lead code. The only thing that you are not able to solve on code forces are linked list, I think. So you can solve those problems separately. Was there a Google OA today? I have no idea. Can you guys share some link? Where is the link? I'm not able to see the link. Google OA. Not from today. Can you share some link? I'm not able to see the link. It's not in the chat. So let's solve Amazon first and then we can move on to Google. Yeah, send me on Discord. Other than practice, I think following good resources is also important. You should follow. You should be able to like read and understand codes of top coders. So I would recommend reading like codes of top coders as well. I think that will help improve your implementation. So I think that usually helps. And another very important skill that you need to improve at CP is reading editorials. You should be able to read editorials and understand editorials. Yeah, you want my Discord link, but I'll share it in the chat. Yeah, I think like you need some basic dev skills as well, but I think if you have strong CP, you should be able to get into coordination. It is enough. 1 hour platform hacker. Question 1. You are given the following integers in CD array A as A1, A2, A3 up to AN. Array B has satisfying the number of pairs ij satisfying the following inequality. AI minus AJ plus C is less than equal to BI minus BJ. I think yeah. So like if you have seen my videos, I talked about this. So like if there's a code, let me. Where's my? No, so I'm solving some like OA problems right now. Third question, GFG. Yeah, I will solve GFG after this. I will first give a brief idea about this. So if you have seen my some last videos, I have always talked about this. That like currently you have two indexes, right? You have I and you have J, right? Currently, if you see your formula, you have AI minus AJ plus C is less than equal to BI minus BJ plus D. So if you see currently there are two states. Here is index I and here is index J. So both of them are in the same formula. So there's a kind of relation between I and J. So to solve this kind of counting problems, you need to like make both the states separate. That is, you need to break this link, right? So you have to rearrange the formulas. So if we have AI minus AJ plus C less than equal to BI minus BJ plus D. If you rearrange it, you will get AI minus BI plus C is less than equal to BJ minus AJ plus D. So what you can do is you can store this thing in a map, right? And and when you are at a current index j, you can check this value and just add the number of values, that is ai minus bi plus c, that are less than the current value. So you basically break the link between I and j. So now your I state is different and now your j state is different. So now you should be able to count. I think it's easy. After this you should be able to solve this now. So the main thing is to just rearrange the formulas. Is there any practice technique which help you to become CM? I also order 100 written on your, but still stuck in 1600, 1730. Tanzim, I think there is no such technique, but I think you should work on your speed. If you are around 1800, you should be able to get to 1900 if you have good speed. Also, I would recommend you to read editorials as much as you can, right? Yeah, the stream will be saved. So I think a very similar problem that you must have seen to this is, you should see my problem. There was a problem from a div 3 round, I guess, that was very similar to this. I have to find it now from my submissions. I solved it recently because someone asked me in a comment. Yeah, here it is. F2 promising string. It was from which round? It was from round 780. So if you see my video on YouTube for round 780, and if you see if you see problem F2, you should be able to see this approach. You are given the following tree of n nodes, number from 1 to n and n minus 1 edges. An array is C of length n, the element ci for each 1 less than I less than equal to n, represent the value associated with the ith node. Now let's call a simple path good if the frequency of the value of any node on the is at least half of the length of the path rounded down to the nearest greatest integer. The length of the path from node the length of a path from node A to B is the number of nodes you encounter in that unique path while going from A to B. Determine the count of total good paths starting from node 1 node. So 1 base indexing is following graph through a single path. Every bit the trace. Okay. Isn't this simple? Can't you just do a DFS in this? Is there something wrong? Can't you just do a DFS and is at least half frequency and the frequency is half, so you can do some randomization thing. So the idea I see here is this also. So you can just do a DFS. I think, and keep count of frequency, right? When you go down you will increase your frequency, and when you are going up from the DFS you can decrease the frequency. And the problem says that the element must be greater than equal to for example, if your length of the path is n, then the element there must be an element f that is present and more than n by 2 times, right? So element f is present more than n by 2 times. So if you take a random algo that picks a random element, it is very highly likely that you will pick f, right? It is very highly likely that you will pick f, because frequency because the probability of picking f is equal to 1 by 2. Probability of picking f is equal to 1 by 2. So like if you pick 10 or 12 times some random element, you will definitely land on f. right? So you can just do a DFS and construct the path. And instead of checking frequency of every element in the path, you can like search for 10 and 12 random elements, and among those 10 or 12 random elements, at least one of them will be the element that must be repeated at least n by 2 times. If you are not able to find such element, then the following path is not a good path. Suraj, I think that depends on how you think. Like how I think is, I think about a problem for 2 or 3 days. So I read some problem, and then in the back of my mind, whenever I'm eating or doing something, I'm thinking about the problem. So I think about it for 2 or 3 days, and if I'm not able to solve it, then I read the editorial. I don't read the complete editorial. First I get some hints, and then I try to solve it on my own. Even if I'm not able to solve it, then I read the complete editorial. And even if I have some doubt after reading the editorial, I ask my doubt on 𝐏𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐸's server. So there's a 𝐏𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐸 server, if you see here. Is it? So people in 𝐏𝐸𝐴𝐻𝐸's server are very helpful, so you can ask your doubt here if you have some doubt. So I think these were the only two problems from the Google OA. These were not that hard. I think Google usually asks very hard problems, but these were not that hard. And these random algos are very helpful. I have also seen this in a previous problem, this random algo where some frequency of element has to be greater than n by 2, right? So I remember I also used randomization in that problem, so I think that helped me here because I have seen some kind of similar problem before. Yeah bro, 2 and 3 days. Like you don't have to take a single problem and think about it. So like take a single problem, if you are not able to solve it, leave it, think about it in the back of your mind, right? Solve other problems in the meantime. So take some problem, if you are not able to solve it, keep it in the back of your mind, solve some more problems, and after thinking about it for 2 or 3 days, if you are not able to solve it, you should read the tutorial. But that's the method that worked for me. You can like read the tutorial after 2 or 3 hours. That's up to you. Like that, like that's the method I used like when I was doing CP. And also do remember that was the time when it was COVID, so I had plenty of time at my hands, so I was able to employ this strategy. But now like there's no COVID, you have to go to colleges and classes, so you might not have that much time, so you should read the editorial after 2 or 3 hours. So that was the Google OA. Yeah, let's see if yeah, that's the same thing that they are doing here. Like you are not able to solve online assessment problem. The only answer is practice, I think. Rishabh, how to become expert? For expert, you don't need anything. Like you just need to know how to solve ad hoc problems, some sorting algorithms, and some binary search. I think that is enough to reach expert. And also you need to know some basic graph algorithms like BFS, DFS, counting some things in a subtree or stuff like that. So if anybody has a leftover question that I was not able to see, please write it again. So like if you see my code forces, these must be the, like when I first started doing code forces, like it seemed really hard because I was not able to like read other people's code. Like they had some really complicated stuff. So the very first video that I watched was from Rachit Jain. I think his video was on STL, and I think that helped me a little. So if you see my contest history, so I was only able to solve two problems in the first contest. That was good by 2019. See, I was only able to solve two problems during the contest, but I upsolved three more problems. And I think that is the thing that helps the most. You have to upsolve. If you are not able to solve some problem, and if you leave it there, there will be some concept that you will miss, right, for the future. So try to solve at least two or three more problems from every contest. So here I had two problems. Here I solved zero problem. I think I was out during this time, and I was trying to solve on my phone. So that's why I was not able to solve any problems in the following contest. So I also solved two problems here. Then for the third contest, that was a div 3, I was able to solve 3, and I upsolved 4. So you have to upsolve, right? And if you see my code for the first, I think that will be very silly code. If you see here, if I have to see my submissions here, let me make this full screen. So don't be demotivated. Don't be demotivated. I think for the for first year, I would see CP, because I think you should do CP very strongly in the first 2 years of your college, right? And after secondary, after second year, you should start focusing on dev. What do you mean DSA is CP? DSA is CP. Like CP is DSA mostly. Uh, I've done 700 problems on CF, 300 regular, but not able to maintain specialist also. Could you explain? So yeah. So I think main thing is to observe. There is nothing else that will help. And read editorials. So let's move on to the Amazon OA now. Special paths. Given a tree with values, you have to find all paths such that starting and ending node have same values. Yeah, so you should start doing dev. Can you share your file, Rishabh, and I will see. Sonic Boom. So let's see a submission for schedule management itself. So you were able to solve A and B during the contest. 804. So you solved the first problem, and for second problem you took almost 1 hour. That's too much to solve problem B of a div 2. Taking that is during the contest, right? How do I see your contest? right? So you took almost an hour to solve problem B. Isn't that too much? So like even if you solve two problems, as you see here, you solve only two problems. If we see some more ratings, your current rank is around 7,000. We check around, right? You see up to 4,000 people are only solving two problems, but they have more speed. They are solving the first two problems in 30 minutes itself. So I think you are lagging in speed. Let's go on to 3,400. See up to 3,400 also. People are only solving two problems. So your rank is almost double because you solved problem B too slow. I think you need to work on your speed and your implementation. So if we go to your profile, and also let's see your code. How did you solve problem B? Able to see your code. Does macros matter in CP? No, not that much. I think tourist hardly uses any macro, but and he's a top rated. So, oh, here's your problem B. The implementation is not that big, so I think you should work on your speed itself. I know basics of DSA, but implementing code is really difficult for me. I can only code after watching code. Before that, it doesn't come to my mind. Please give me some advice. So we go to your profile. CP analytics. I think you are able to solve problems. You just need to work on your speed. So work on your speed. I think I recommend you to read code of top coders and to improve your implementation and learn how to implement things in a better way. I think working on your implementation is good enough for now. You don't need to learn any new concepts, because if you are trying to reach specialists, just knowing sorting and BFSDF is more than enough, right? So you need to work on your implementation and solve more ad hoc problems, right? Don't try to solve some hard problems for now. Just try to solve some ad hoc problems, because basically div to A's and B's are almost sorting and ad hocs. So doing ad hocs is enough for now, and do some binary search problems as well from time to time. These concepts are enough to like stay at specialist level. uh, I know basics of C++. I understand the logic of data, but implementing code is really difficult. I can only code after watching code. So Pradeep, like I don't know how to help you with this. I think the only thing that will help you improve is practice, solve lots of problems, and that will like help you how to think, how to implement code. What range of problems should I solve? So like only try to solve like around 1300 1400 problems. So right now you have only solved 55, so like try to do this up to 100. Like also 1400 problems, try to do this up to 100. You have solved around 800. You have solved around 273 problems of rating 800. That is like a lot more. You don't need to solve these many, and you have a lot of unsolved problems. Try to read their editorials and try to complete these problems as well. Like if you are trying to solve a problem, don't leave it, right? Solve it completely. Don't give up in the middle. I will like see the last, and then I will move on to the Amazon way. You have only given 6 contests. Like there's not enough to review here. So I think you did not even try to solve the second problem. Yeah, it's okay if you have to read editorials. It's okay, but like try to solve the problem. Don't like read the editorial and like leave the problem. Read the editorial and try to implement it. Because you will always learn something new from every problem almost. So don't leave problems. Try to solve the problems to complete extent. You have only given like 7 contests. I would recommend you to like give some more contests so I can like have a general idea what you are trying to do. And you are solving a lot of 1600 problems. I would recommend to solve low rated problems first. So like 1400, 1300, like problems like that. How to solve CD div 2? Like give VCs and like try to solve a lot of div 2 C's and D's. Div 2 C's and D's usually require like some basic observations, and it is usually around math or around binary search or graph. So I would recommend to like solve all the contests that are like in code forces, like go to those contests and try to solve all div 2 C's and D's. I think that will help a lot. And I think there's a bot on ecto server called gitgood. You can use that to upsolve also. I think that is also very good. So if I go to ecto server, where is it? There's a bot called gitgood, right, as you can see here. So if you type gitgood here, you will get a problem, right? I currently have active challenge, so I have to solve this problem that I have a challenge for, right? So I'm trying to solve this problem. It's a div 2e, right? So you can also use this bot to upsolve or find problems. It will recommend you problems that are around your rating. You can use gitgood 100 200 to find problems that are more than your rating. This is also a good bot to practice. How can I better at solving C? Like I told, try to solve all previous C and D problems from div 2 contests. I'm in second year, have some break till 7th August, and I want to reach expert by that. Can you please give me? I am doing 16 or 17 practice. I don't know why many times I prefer watching videos during observing. Don't really understand it. Karthik, like it is important to like have this skill. You have to like read editorials over and over. You will not obviously get the editorial in a single reading. The very first thing that you have to do before reading editorial is like read the problem, like the problem that you want to solve. Like read the problem, give at least 1 and 2 hours yourself and see the observations and see how the question is working, right? Only after that you will be able to understand the editorial. So first read the problem, work on it for 1 and 2 hours, right? And after that try to read the editorial. Like it will take you around like 1 and 2 hours. Try to read the editorial over and over, right? Don't only read it once and leave it. Try to read it over and over. And I think it's a very important skill to have to read editorials, and you should like try to read it. Because like after a certain level, because now you are not able to solve C and D, so you can see my videos, but after that, like I only make videos up to C and D. But after you have improved, how will you upsolve E and F? Because because no one makes videos for E and F anymore. Ericto is also like offline now. I think he's busy in his job, so you have to upsolve E and F yourself, right? So you should not only like see videos, you should also like read editorials as well. Also, I'm learning segmentaries from Edu right now. In contest, I'm never not able to see in sometimes, but in practice, I am always able to do. How to overcome this? I think you should try to give some virtual contests and see how you do. To my CP profile. leave it in the let's first review 𝐏𝐚𝐲 𝐀𝐟𝐭𝐞𝐫. I don't offer any courses right now. I'm thinking about it to like make some series, and I will not make any courses. I will upload free videos on YouTube in some kind of series. But the thing is, like, if I go for a series, I will not be able to upload my regular editorials because I need time for that. To make a series, I have to I have to write a script and stuff like that. So it will take some time, obviously. And I will not make a series on greedy. If I have to, I will make some on trees and something, right? Yeah. 𝐏𝐚𝐲 𝐀𝐟𝐭𝐞𝐫, you are stuck in pupil. I saw you solve 400 problems. Implementation, math, greedy. Let's watch your last one. You did nice in this one. So you were able to solve 3 in this one. And your rank was around 3000. So I think you are doing good. You don't need to worry, like you will improve in some time. You are doing good. You were able to solve three problems in like 48 minutes. That's quite good. Yeah. So let's review Sahil Anand and one last guy. We're solving a lot of problems. So you were not able to see. So you were not able to solve C from the last one. Are you doing a brute force here? I think this is a brute force, isn't it? Or is this some kind of greedy? Like I said, like it's hard to implement and do greedy. So you should have like thought about binary search here. Yeah, so I think you need to work on your binary searching and stuff like that. Don't always go for greedy because it's hard to implement and hard to debug. I think that's why you lost some rating here. Let's see your other contests as well. Got 5. What is that? So it took you 1 hour to also solve B. I think you guys need to work on your speed itself. I think speed is the main issue. Like if you solve the same problem in around 10 to 20 minutes, you would have a very decent rank, and like you would almost like reach expert. You will almost reach specialist. Like spending 1 hour on problem B is a lot. And you should be able to do the first problem in under 5 minutes. So I have a friend, I think he also gave the following contest. Let me see the contest. 804. So like here's my friend, he solved the first problem in under 4 minutes, and he solved the second problem in under 20 minutes. So you can see his rank is 800, and he solved the third problem very fast. So I think, like you see, he only solved 3 problems. So like just solving 3 problems is more than enough. Like he had around like a CM rating in this contest. So even if you are able to solve 3 problems, but you are able to do them fast, you should be able to reach a very good rating. Like I think solving around 2 and 3 problems, solving around 2 problems are more than enough to reach specialist, and solving 3 problems are more than enough to reach expert. Yeah, so you should work on your speed and like try to solve more ad hoc and binary search problems. I think that will help. Then we have Ayushan and Tripathi. So you're also stuck in pupil for some reason. You have good unsolved problem. So you only, so why did you not attempt to solve problem 3? You only solved 2. You had good speed, but you had some wrong answers. So firstly, what you did was you did answer dot pushback I, answer dot pushback 2 into I. Yeah, so as you can see here, the logic that you are using here is very wrong, right? And you can easily show this just using, I think you're doing that only, right? Answer dot pushback I, answer dot pushback 2 into I, dot I, st dot find I equal to st dot end, answer dot pushback I. What are you doing here? So your answer is wrong here. You are printing 1 2 2 2 4 3. So you did not test your code properly, right? So I think you are like, in terms of speed you are doing good, but you should test your code before you submit. You got 2 extra penalties here that added around 20 minutes to your rating. So if we see, like, if you did not have 2 penalties, your time would be around 29 minutes. And where would it place you? Right, so you would be like, you would have 2000 less rank, and you did not try to even solve problem C. So like, I would, like, if you are not able to solve some problem until the end of the contest, I would recommend you to like submit anything, like at least submit a brute force or do something, right? So don't leave the problem as it is. And like, if you're trying to submit a code, like, try to think about the corner cases. I think you are not able to think about the corner cases. So think about the corner cases, like when you are typing a problem, think about the corner cases. I think that will help you a lot. Gaurav Arora. To see improvement in greedy, like, there's not such a strategy. I think You should try different strategies, like when you are trying to like too greedy. So for example, in today's lead code problem, I think there's such a problem. Let me draw it out. So there was a lead code problem today that had a k, right? You had k operations, and there were some numbers like that was ai bi, right? So it was something like a1 a2 a3 so on up to an, and b1 b2 so on up to an, right? And our sum was equal to a1 minus b1 whole square plus a2 minus b2 whole square so on up to an minus bn whole square. And you had to use these k operations. In one operation you can either add one or you can either remove one, so you had to use this operation to minimize this sum, right? So obviously you had to do some kind of operation. So how I approached this was, I had like two things in my mind. The one thing was, I had two things that I was thinking about. The first thing was that you had to apply all the operations on a single index. That is, if you have k operations, first choose some index, apply all your operations on that, right? Choose some index, apply all your operations on that. So that was my first approach. And the second approach that I was thinking about was a1 a2 a3 so on up to an, b1 b2 b3 so on up to bn. The second approach that I was thinking about was, like, if there is k, choose some element, choose the element that has the max difference and remove one from it, and again check for the maxed element and remove one from it. Now I had to check which one of my greedy was working. So I took a simple example, that is 3 comma 3, and I took my operations equal to 2. So I set my operations, that is k equal to 2. If I follow my first approach, I will apply both operations on the first index, so it will become 1 and it will become 3. So my answer will be 9 plus 1, that is 10. So now if I use the second approach, in my k is equal to 2, if I have 3 here, 3 here, it will become 2, and I will have 4 plus 4, that is equal to 8. So obviously you can see that my second approach is better. So I implemented my second approach and it got accepted. So like, you have to think about some cases, you have to think about the various approaches, and you have to one by one reach the optimal one, right? So like, you don't like directly land on the solution, you think about multiple things, then you think about examples that will fail those cases, and then you single out your optimal solution. I think that's how I work on greedy. So I was reviewing Gaurav Arora. I wanted to solve the Amazon OA, but I don't think you guys will give me enough time to solve it. You're doing good, Gaurav. Like, you have around 800 rating. That is more than enough. You're doing pretty good. You have solved around 1300 problems. Your rating is increasing. Yeah, that's good. Aaron Gupta. You have not given enough contests. Like, you give contests rarely. I would recommend you to give more contests. First, the cast champ. You are stuck in newbie for some reason. Why so? You were able to solve the first two problems in 18 minutes. So you see, you are also using greedy, I think. So that's the thing. Like, when you are using greedy, it's like very unlikely. So the implementation is very hard. So I have some friends who used greedy, but like, their implementation is quite fast. So they were able to think about the implementation and implement it very quickly. Yeah, it is easy to like reach expert in 1 year. Not that hard. Let's see your more contests where you lost some rating. So so you failed on the first problem itself, right? So you are very inconsistent. So you should try to give some virtual contest and at least try to solve two problems in every contest. Like, so if you are able to solve two problems in every contest, I think you will gain some better rating. Like solving even not one problem is like very wrong. That's not acceptable. uh, Review on it. Any prefix? I don't think there are any. Like, you learn it. I would also recommend to solve some Google Kickstart problems. It has some good DP problems. I think they have standard DP problems. Like if you try to solve Kickstart, they have some good DP problems. Like the DP that you see there is very standard, so you should be able to solve those problems, and like they will give you a very nice idea of how DP works. So you are not able to solve problem C. So the same thing here. You must be also doing the greedy thing, I think. See, everybody who's using greedy was not able to solve the problem. Everybody is using greedy here. That's why they were not able to solve the problem. Or are you not using? You are using binary search. Why did you fail then? Why low is less than edge? Mid. Shouldn't there be a equal to here? Why low is less than edge? Shouldn't there be equal to? And like your implementation is very ugly here. So you also need to work on your implementation. Like you were able to think about binary search. That's a very nice thing. You should have been you should have been able to solve this. Like if you are able to think about binary search, you should have been able to solve this. So I think you need to work on your implementation a bit. Yeah, you are doing something like for every you are doing this. I don't think it is required. Is mid mod 2 equal to 1, mid not equal to 1, mid minus worker plus is equal to 1. Yeah, this is not required, this thing. Yeah, you need to work on implementation a bit. But you were able to think about binary search, so I think you should be able to gain some rating. So like keep at it and you will gain some rating, don't worry. Where is the chat thing? It doesn't have good price in my resume and I'm in 4th year, so currently learning React. Yeah, same Rachit, yeah. Rocking Bacha, I think you should see the video of Colin Gallen on number theory. I think he covered almost all of it. So if you see Colin Gallen number theory, right, you should you should see this problem. Like, so he covers almost all the concepts that you need to learn in number theory. So we are left with meat. I see a lot of improvement in my, so like I don't think I have any specific time period when I improved a lot. I think it was like it was a continuous thing. It was not something sudden, it was continuous. As you can see here, it was very continuous. Yeah. So you are also doing good. like you are maintaining your specialist, you will soon be able to reach expert. Don't worry. Like you are not rating you are not uh, like you are not going down, so that's a good thing. You will soon increase rating. Don't worry about that. You are doing good. Yeah, your pattern is also very simple. That's a good thing. You are all solving around 50 problems of each. That's a good thing. You also have less unsolved problems. That's also good. You see your contests. You were able to solve. You see, he was able to solve the first problems in around 12 minutes. So that's a good thing. And you solved the third one in around 1. And did you also do greedy? Yeah, your implementation was very bad. Yeah, but you were able to think about binary search. So you see here, like the people who are higher rated are able to think about binary search, and he was also able to implement that. Yeah, so that's a good thing. Your implementation is very bad though. Like it's very weird, and I don't think it's required. So you thought about binary search. That's a good thing. So you are able to think about like harder algorithms. So you should like learn to implement. So if we see the top solutions for the following problem, you will be able to see better solutions to this. So if you see tourist code, I think so you can see like you don't need anything. You just need some variable extra and need. I think that is enough to solve the problem. You don't need like so much extra code. And like if you're able to think like if you were able to think about the binary search, I think it took you around like more than an hour to implement like that check function. So I think if you were able to think about the smaller implementation, it would have helped you with your time, and you would have been able to like increase more rating. So you also need to work on your implementation as well. Like don't blindly start to solve a problem. Like when you're trying to solve a problem, think about it and then try to solve it. Like keep a notebook first and then try to solve it. Like don't like solve it, like don't start coding right away. Think about the problem first and then try to implement it, and like try to like implement it in a like clean way. Like there are some ugly ways to solve a problem, and that are like there are some ugly ways to solve a problem that are easy to think about but they are harder to code, and then there are ways that are like hard to think about but easy to code. So I would recommend to like to think 5 and 10 minutes extra but write small code. So that will help you with the speed. Good evening. So rocking Rishabh, we reviewed meat and Tanzan. So you were improving. No worries. Like you were newbie before, you reached pupil. Now you have reached specialist. Like if you keep working, you will also reach expert. Like you got around 1300 rank. That's pretty good. So you are improving. You don't need to worry. Like keep at it, and you will do good. But you have a lot. You have a lot of unsolved problems. I would recommend to solve them. And try to solve more 600 problems now, because now you are almost now you are specialist, so you should try to solve more higher rated problems. So try to solve more 1600 1700 problems. I think that will help you in the longer run. uh, Raj, you have not given enough contests yet, but you are doing good. Like according to the contest, like, there's a lot of gap between the contest, so you are not regular. I would like first recommend you to like give each and every contest. I think that will help you. Like, you can see a lot of gaps here. I just saw these gaps. Like so, like you just started in April, so I would recommend you to like give more contests, and I think you can improve. You are doing pretty good. You will soon be able to reach specialist. So yeah, you are doing good for now. You don't need to worry. Ayush Gupta. Yeah, you are also doing good. Like you are improving continuously. Why do you need a review? You are able to solve 617 problems. Lessons solve problems. That's good. You don't need to brute force. TPS solve on 40 problems. Plan research 30. If you, yeah, so you are doing good. You don't have to worry. Like uh, this is a very good graph. Like you had some like low runs, but like you were able to recover from them. That's good. You will soon reach, so you will soon reach expert. Yeah, today, congrats, man. But then how should I practice? I can solve in less than equal to 40 minutes. Like upsolve. Answer to everything is upsolve and practice. Thanks for yeah. Any in the video on my CP the whole day doesn't have same here. सर मैंने कोडिंग स्टार्ट किया बता दिया ये specialist. Ideal rating for a student entering second year. So it like when did you start coding? So like if you have like been coding for 2 months, I would say uh, pupil is very good, and if you have been doing it for 4 months, I would say specialist. If you have been doing it for 6 and over months, I would say expert is a very good rating. Anjit, like good evening, Kamal. Anchit, if you are like it's good night now, but anyways, we have to revise DSA. Completely forgotten most thing. Ashprit Singh, and like see some courses. I think that there are some good courses online. Coding Ninja course is really good. Like there are a lot of like videos on DSA online. You can like easily see that, revise that. Never start uploading videos. Thank you. Fighter man. Ideal rating for student entering second year. CF is on up to DPD. I won't review anymore, so don't add anymore, please, because I want to absolve the Amazon away on Amazon away also. You have been able to maintain pupil, but you have a lot of contests. You should have been able to reach specialist by now. Why are you stuck? No problem. You got a good rank in this one also. Yeah, you also use binary search. Good. Yes, listeners. You should be able to like. Why are you so low rated? You had a nice contest there. Like you are getting some good ranks. I think you will soon reach expert, don't worry. I think you are having some really good ranks. 2000 very good rank. But 5000 is not. Why did you get so less rating in this one? Yeah, you were only able to solve 2. Again you spend like, why did you spend so much on problem 2? So again, like your implementation for this is very bad. Long. So I think you need to work on your speed as well. Like you have some really good days, so I think you should try to give more VCs and like try to be more consistent, because currently like in one contest you have a like really good rating and then like you lose some rating. Yeah, so I think you should try to give more VCs and try to control your nerves, and like what was the second problem about? Because I think you're lagging in a certain area that you are not able to see. Was this mathematical or something? So I would recommend you to give more VCs, and I think that will help you. So today's second problem, have a look. It's a good one. Oh yeah, I was able to solve that. I solved it today. Nitas. Let's see Anchit first, and then so like it's not acceptable to like spend 1 hour on second problem. I think because that will like waste your time. You are just starting out, like you just started in January. 200 problems. Yeah, so you are solving a lot of greedy problems, implementation problems. You are not solving a lot of binary search problems. So I would recommend you to solve more binary search, two-pointer problems, and some number theory as well. So try to solve these 3 questions more. And I think sortings is 31 is good enough. Yeah, so you should work on more on your binary search and 2 pointers. I think that will work. And you have been stuck maybe for some reason. 500 problems around that. You see, you are only solving 7 problems on DFS and similar. You should solve more problems on graphs. Try to solve some more graph problems. And around binary search, where is a binary search? Just 33 problems out of 500. You're solving a lot of greedy problems. I think that is good for A and B. You should not be able to stuck in newbie for this. Let's see your last one. Again, you only solved 2 problems. You didn't even try to submit the third one. And you also have the same thing. I don't understand what you guys are trying to do here. The logic is very wrong, obviously. Like you wasted your 2, and like you had 2 wrong answers. So you are not also like testing for corner cases. I think that's the reason. Also, you are not trying to solve the third problem. Like at least try to submit something. The third problem is not that hard in the following contest. Like, at least try to like implement greedy or something. At least try to submit something. The problem is not that hard. So you should give some more VCs, I think, also to like work. The very thing that like some people ignore is stamina. You also need like stamina for 2 hours to like give a contest and like stay at your full thing, stay at your full stamina for 2 hours. So you are able to like think about problems. because you like if you spend 1 hour on A and B, you will not be able to give your 100% to C problem, right? So you need to like give some VZs and like have a habit for sitting for 2 hours. If you're able to develop a habit and give your 100% for 2 hours, that will also help. Like don't just solve a contest for 30 minutes, and if you're not able to solve some problem, like just leave the contest. At least try to solve something. Hmm. You started in Jan also. So you have only solved 70 problems. I would recommend you solve more problems. Like you have not enough practice yet. 70 problems is nothing. So try to solve more problems. Like try to solve at least 100 problems of 900, 1000, so on. Right? So you need some more practice. You are doing good. You are like increasing slowly. You will soon be able to reach specialist. So like keep at it and you will do good. Only 300 problems, and that's okay. From March to July, you have reached like almost specialist. That's good. You don't need to worry. You're doing good. You will soon reach specialist. Nothing to worry here. I think I was not able to. You're also doing good. Like you reach pupil, you reach specialist. You are almost able to reach expert. Oh, yeah, you are doing good. You also got a good rank. 3000 is a good rank. In the you were able to solve the third problem, and you solved it in around 1 hour. That's also good. And you think you did the greedy thing, I guess. Yeah, so that's good. Like good. You're doing good. You will soon reach expert. Don't worry. I will take a look at it. I think I solved it already. You solved a signal problem. Yes, doesn't people. Yes. Again, like you guys are solving around 500 problems, and like almost all of them are like greedy. 200 greedy, 200 implementation. Like try to solve more problems on graphs. So if you see or you only have 34 problems on DFS, and similar only like 20 problems on graphs. So you should try to solve more problems on DFS, like to if you want to reach specialist, and try to solve more binary search problems as well. And you have a lot of unsolved problems. That means you don't upsolve. You should try to upsolve a lot. Like don't just leave the problems as it is. So you have around 135 problems. That's a lot. You should not have that much problems in your unsolved thing. You try to upsolve most of them. Mm, as well. Started in February. You are doing good. Yeah, like you almost reach specialist. You have good ranks. 2000. You are doing good. You don't need to worry. Like 50 problems. You're solving 1500 problems. You have around like he has around 30 problems in around 300 problems. That's okay. And he has a lot of like not a lot of but like very few problems. That's also good. You should also try to solve more graph problems, I guess. You only have 20 graph problems. around 11 DFS problems. So you should work more and more on your trees and graphs. I think that's where you are lacking. Rest, you are doing really good. Like in a few months, you have reached up to specialist. That's good. You don't practice much. Like the last guy had 300 problems, and he started in February. You started in around December, and you have around only 170 problems. And that's not a lot. You should try to solve more problems. You have a very few problems. 170 is not enough. And like most of them, like around 100 of them. Wait a second. And around 80 of them are like 800 problems. So like you have only solved 100 problems, you can say. So that is not enough. You have to solve more problems. And again, very few problems. Only 4 problems on DFS and similar. Only 4 graph problems. Not enough. You should solve more graph problems. Pen research out of 180, like 10 are okay, but you should solve more. And here's also the Google. So Nostradamus. Around 800 problems, and still like newbie. Why? 330 problems. 48 red. Like you're solving a lot of problems. Let's say sure. Yeah, I think you are solving a lot of like, again, like out of 800 only like 20 problems are from graphs and DFS. That's really not a lot. And I think you are not able to. Let's see your contest history. You were not able to solve C also last contest. Your implementation is like really long. Like if you if you solve a problem like this, you will not be able to like debug your code effectively, because if your implementation is like so long, it's very hard to find bugs in there, right? So you need to work on your implementation. Your implementation is not that good. You definitely work on that. Let's see your other contests as well. 10,000 rank. What is that? So you only solved one problem, that too at around 2 hours. Definitely not like acceptable. Like, you need to practice more. And the answer was not like the problem was really easy. So like you are lacking in some kind of ad hoc. So you need to work on your like you need to solve more math problems. I think that is your weak point. Uh, the problems were really easy in this contest. I think the following problem is also really easy. Yeah. So like solving a problem in 2 hours, like even after solving 900 problems, like you need to think about how you are solving stuff. Like if you have a weak point, like if math is a weak point, try to solve some more math problems. Good. You were an expert at one time. Why are you feeling so much? I think you are just trolling at this point. Right, so you were an expert at one time. Like you had in a Div 1 plus 1 2 round, you had a 1400 rank. You had a 400 rank. So like I think you are just trolling. I think it's a Smurf account. So I'm not gonna review this one. Yeah, so you are constantly improving. Like see, he was expert in newbie for some time. He reached pupil. He again fell back to newbie. Then he kept practicing. Like you see, he has 1200 problems. So he's doing good. So if you see his graph problems, he had around 80 graph problems. The guy before had around like 20 graph problems in around 800 problems. So that was not really good. And he has around 120 problems on fine research. So you can see why he's improving. He has around 160 problems on DP. So you can easily see why he's improving. So you are doing good. Like you're doing a lot of practice. I think that will help you. You will soon reach higher expert. So like he fell back to newbie, then he again got back to pupil, again to newbie. Then he slowly reached to specialist. He fell back to pupil once or twice, and then he like maintained specialist, and then like then rose to expert. I think you are doing good. You don't need any advice. Yeah, it's an extension. It's called CF Analytics. I guess I don't know its name. Yeah, it's called CF Analytics. So I viewed this. I viewed this. I viewed this. I will not be able to view so much profiles. Yeah, you are also doing good. Like you are improving constantly. No need to worry. You were newbie first. You slowly reached up to pupil. Now you are specialist. Yeah, you are doing good. Around 100 DB problems, 360 binary search problems, story graph. Yeah, you are doing good. You have been doing it for 2 years. You know, why have you given so less contests? The number of contests you have given is very. Like, you are a lot. Like you live it in between. So like you started in 2020, you left it for a long time. You need some practice and consistency. I think that's what will help you. And in around in around 2 years, you have only solved 200 problems. Not very good. So you should try to solve more problems. Obviously, you need some practice. Like in 2 years, 200 problems is very less. You should have been able to reach specialist by now easily. And you obviously have a lot of unsolved problems as well. That's not very good as well. Yeah, so you need to practice more. You're doing good. You started in Jan, and like you soon jump to specialist, and now you're up to expert. Good, you're doing well. Sorry about that. I think I already reviewed Satyam in a previous video. Like you can see he only has one unsolved problem and around in 70 problems. I think it's your Smurf account, it's not your real account, I think. Or like you came from some other site. Satyam, you are doing good. Like started in Jan and you are slowly improving. Just you have a lot of drug balance problems, a lot of DP problems. Yeah, you are doing good. You will soon reach specialist, I think. Like you are continuously improving. Let's see here. You were not able to solve the third one. I saw. Like, again, you are also going for the ugly implementation. I think like whoever went for greedy, like they're like if you were not able to implement it in the first time, like you did not get AC on this. Again, the implementation is really bad. I'm not able to like even read it. So yeah, I messed up in AI. I don't know. So like, so yeah, you should keep going at it. I think you will soon reach specialist. You are doing good. Like you are doing enough practice. I think that is enough. Please don't paste any more profiles. I'm tired now. So I will not review anything that will come after coding monk. So that's the last thing that I will review for now. I'm not able to find your profile. Hmm. The dreamer started under problems. Why are you still stuck in 900 rate? To solve 3 problems? Was this a div 3? This is a div 4. We see this. You are not able to solve one problem in the contest. Like you gave up after 20 minutes. So like never tried after this. I think you are giving up too easily. And I think that's the thing here. You should have been able to solve at least one problem here. Right? What was this? Oh, this guy hacked. Yeah, so you should have been able to solve at least 1 or 2 problems here. So I think you need some more practice, and I think you are giving up too easily. Like if you get 2 and 3 wrong answers, like you give up on the problem. That's not how you should like go about it. You should keep trying to solve a problem until the end of the contest, and I think that will help. So I will not review Danish because I already said I will not review anything that comes after coding monk. So Danish, you will have to wait until the next live stream. Like you have just started out, and like, but you are not giving contest regularly. So like first thing is solve a lot more problems. And the second thing is like try to give contest regularly. Like I can see a lot of gap here. That is not good. That's why I still think you need more practice, and After that, like, we can have a review on your profile. So let's go with Sohail. You started on Jan. You reached pupil. You have been doing good. Yeah, I think you need some more time. Like you are slowly improving. Like you were first stuck in newbie for some time. You have reached pupil, and now you are like staying at pupil for some time. I think you still need some more time. After 1 or 2 months, if you are still not able to reach specialist, then like uh, we will have a review. I think you are doing good for now. Like you are able to solve 4 problems in a div 3. That's really good. But still, your rank is too low. I think you is also like you need to improve on your time. I think you are like taking a lot of time. Ready profile go. Yeah, you are taking a lot of time. Like 1 hour to solve problem A, 50 minutes. Yeah, so you should be able to solve like first 3 problems in around 30 minutes in a div 3, right? So you need to work on your speed. Let's see how you implement code. You failed on second 35. Variable names are like very really bad. Why q. Is the answer for this? I solve this. Let's see the top submissions for this. So you see, like you are doing a lot of cases. He only has 3 cases. N mod 3 is equal to 0, N mod 3 is equal to 1, and N mod 3 is equal to 2. So you have a lot of unnecessary stuff. Again, like you can see the code is really clean here. You are making a lot of unnecessary test cases, like a lot of unnecessary cases. I think that is a problem. Like I try to make video for every contest, like if I get the time. Hello Sujit. Things we will definitely keep in mind. Yeah, voice is little low. Sorry for that. Like I'm tired now. I have been streaming for around 1.5 hours, I think. Yeah, I have been streaming for around 1.5 hours, so that is a lot. So I'm kind of tired now. So we can solve this problem if you guys want to. It's from the Amazon. Where n cities in Geekland numbered 0, 1 to this. Where n minus 1 bidirectional roads. Ith road connects city this. You can connect it to the edge. This is my pen. People of Geekland love ordering from Amazon. Its warehouse is located at seat 0, but there's a rebel group in the country that can block any road. Geek software engineer wants to tell the software that discards all the cities where delivery is not possible. The remaining cities find the maximum this. So in the problem we have a tree, I think. And there is a warehouse that is our root. So our root is at index 0, and we remove some road. So all the edges, also all the cities or the nodes that are removed, right? These will be removed. So from the leftover tree, we have to find the length of the maximum path. We have to find the length of the maximum path. That's the problem. So if you have some subtree, yeah, so I think we can use Euler tool here. So if you know about subtrees, like if you have to like query on some subtree, if you have to do a query on subtree, you can easily query a subtree using Euler tool. So using Euler tool, you can flatten your tree and convert it into an array. And in this array, every subtree can be seen as a subarray. Right? So now we have some tree. We remove this road, so the following subtree will be removed, right? And from the leftover things, we have to find the maximum length. So I will do a Euler tour on this, convert this into an array, and the subtree that we remove here, it will be a subarray here somewhere. It will be a subarray here somewhere, because using Euler tool, you can easily convert your subtree to a subarray. So now from the leftover array, we have to find the maximum length. So that is really easy. So you can like find this subarray, and then from the suffix and from the prefix, you can easily find your maximum length, right? That is not that hard. So I think, do we have some queries, right? Yeah, so we have queries. So for every query, we can give a prefix and a suffix, and we can use that to answer the query. I don't think we need to code this. If you want to read on Euler tour, I think Priyansh has a video on Euler tour. You can look into that. Euler tour, Priyansh. Yeah, I think this is a good video to read about Euler tour. You definitely see this. Yeah, so if you know that, you will be easily able to solve this. Let's see the second problem. First problem was that thief lives in a linear land where everything is in a single dimension line. The place it is the ith police station is located at coordinate xi, geek lives at a coordinate a. This might mean geek and ith police station is given by this. He wants to choose two distinct distances such that the small distance between first police house and the distance between second police station and his house is more formally return the maximum value of the expression a minus xi plus a minus xj for two distinct valid indexes I and j. So isn't that easy? Like we can just sort the array. So if our thief is living here, there are only 4 cases. Either both of the police stations will lie on the left side, right? So this will be a of 0, and this will be x of 0, and this will be x of 1. Either both of the police stations will lie on the right side. That is the second case. This is case 1. This is case 2. This is x of n minus 1. This is x of n. And the third case is when one is lying on the left side and one is lying on the right side. So this is x of 0 and this is x of n. He is living somewhere. So I think only these 3 cases are enough to solve the problem. Yeah, so like you can check among these 3 cases where you get the max distance, and that will be your answer. Right? Or am I right? Am I missing something? So that is it for the following problem. I think the second problem was also easy, so I'm not gonna look at that. So we can now look at the lead code problems for today. Where do you see the previous counters? It was July. Also, I think that was just implementation, right? The first problem. The second one was was a bit tricky. That is a lot of implementation, as you can see, or I think I had a ugly implementation in this one, I think. And the only reason I think I got some TLEs on this. I think the reason was because of map, so I use another map instead, and that helped the TLEs. Also, I was using some cout statements, and I thought like it will not affect the TLE, but like cout statements like cause TLE in lead code. Like I got to know that today, and I think this was the implementation problem. This was also highly based on implementation. So I kept a map, I iterated. So you can see my codes for this, I think, and if any of you wants, I can also explain my solution for this. So long diff is equal to last dot first. So here, like, the problem is simple enough. Like if you want to solve the third problem, I have a1, a2, a3, so on up to an, and b1, b2, b3, so on up to bn. First of all, I only care about the difference, so I will not I will not keep two separate arrays. I will create a new array, and I will just work on ai minus bi, absolute difference, right? I will just work on this. And second of all, you have k1 and k2. You can say, like, you can see I can apply k1 on ai, and I can apply k2 on bi. So basically I can apply k1 plus k2 on the entire term. So I will not consider k1 and k2 as two different things. I will consider a value k that is equal to k1 plus k2. That is, I can apply k operations on the following term. So I will create a new array, that is a1 minus b1, a2 minus b2, a3 minus b3, so on. So the logic is, the problem is greedy. You just have to find the value with max difference, right? Find the value with max difference and remove one from it, and remove one from it, and do the same thing again and again, right? So that's the logic that you have to apply. But the thing is, you have to apply it smartly, because your k1 and k2 is up to 10 to the power 9. So if you remove one every time, it will take you 10 to the power 9 operations, which is of course it will cause a TLE. So you have to apply these operations smartly. So how can you apply these operations smartly? So you can, like, keep a frequency instead. For example, you can keep a frequency, how many elements have a difference of 1. So let's say one element have a difference, sorry, let's say there are 3 elements that have a difference of 1, right? So there are 3 elements whose ai minus bi is equal to 1. Similarly, you have 2 element, you have one element that has a difference of 2, let's say, and you have 3 elements that have a difference of 3, and let's say your k is equal to 7, right? Then of course you have to apply your operations on the max thing, right? So you have to apply your operations on the max difference. So you will apply your operations on terms that have the difference 3. Now your k is equal to 7, so you can spend 3 operations here, and convert your 3 equal to 2, right? So you spend your 3 operations here. Now your k is equal to 4. Now you have the terms 1 comma 3 and 2 comma 4. So now your k is equal to 4. So now you can apply your 4 operations on the second term. So in using that, you can convert your 4 to different segments, to your segments of difference 1. So it will become 1 comma 7. So in the end, your answer will be 7 into 1 square. So that will be your answer. And the second thing can be, let's take the same example itself. If you have 1 comma 3, let's say 2 comma 1 and 3 comma 3. Let's say your k is equal to 2 now. Now as you can see, you will not be able to convert your entire term to 2's, right? Because you don't have enough operations to convert your entire term to 2's. So you will convert some of your terms, that is, if this is your, let's say, frequency, and then you have k, then you will only be able to convert k mod frequency elements to, let me write it in a separate thing. You will only be able to convert k mod frequency elements into if this value is, let's say, x, then x minus k by frequency plus 1, I'm sorry, minus 1, right? And you will be able to convert how many? That is frequency minus k mod frequency elements into x minus k by frequency, right? So as you have 2 operations here, right? You have 2 operations and your frequency is equal to 3, right? So you have 2 mod 3 here. You will be able to convert 2 elements, that is 2 mod 3 is equal to 2. So you will be able to convert 2 elements into x, that is 3, minus k by frequency, that is 2 by 3, that is equal to 0, minus 1, that is 2. So you will be able to convert 2 elements into 2, and frequency minus k mod frequency. So you have frequencies 3 minus 2 mod 3. So that is 3 minus 2 mod 3 is equal to 1. So you will be able to convert one element into x minus k by frequency. So that is 3 over 2 by 3. So so that is 3 itself. So you will be able to convert 2 elements into 2, and you will be able to convert one element into 3. So if you do that, you have 1 comma 1, 2 comma 1 also, I think. You have 1 comma 3, sorry. You have 1 comma 3, 2 comma 1 and 3 comma 3. You will be able to convert this into two things. One is, that is, you will be able to form 2 2's here, and you will be able to form 1 3 here, right? So now your operations are 0. Now you don't have any operations left. So now you can like exit the loop after this. So as you can see, we have 2 1 here, 2 2 here. So we can just add these, and it will become 1 comma 3, 2 comma 3 and 3 comma 1. So your answer will be 3 into 1 square plus 3 into 2 square plus 1 into 3 square. That will be your answer. So that's the logic. As you can see here, I have done k equal to k1 plus k2, and then I start from the last element, that is, I start from the maximum difference, and I check my last, and I check my second last. If the difference is less than or equal to k, that is, I can convert the entire block using k operations. I will do that, and I will update my count of second last dot first. So I will add the number of last frequency to the second last frequency. Otherwise, if I don't have enough operations, I will have to find div and remainder. So that is k by last dot second, that is k by frequency and k mod frequency, and I will use that to solve the problem like I showed you. And now my k is equal to 0, right? Because I have used all my operations in the following thing, so I don't have any more operations left here. And in the end, my answer sum will be equal to x dot first into x dot first, that is x dot first whole square into x dot second. Yeah, I always, like, you can go back in the stream, like I already solved that thing. Pick the OI one. So how to prepare for coding rounds? Is lead code enough? If you are going to do lead code, I recommend you to do a lot of hard problems, because easy and medium problems are not definitely not enough to solve coding rounds. Like only lead code is like try to solve a lot of hard problems then, like I'm saying. Like only easy and medium are not enough for coding rounds. And Anurag, you can like roll back the stream, like in the first 30 minutes I think I solved that problem. So I was not able to solve the fourth problem. I'm still looking. I think there's some kind of binary search in this. I was not able to like see how we can apply binary search on this. Yeah. So I will upsolve this and then like make a video on this if it's possible. Yeah, so these are the problems on the lead code, and I think the stream is already over 2 hours. Practice and upsolve, Shaheen. That's the only thing that will help you. Yeah. So I will close the stream. Thank you everyone for joining in, and I will see you guys in the next video, I guess. And be sure to join my Discord server if you haven't. I will share a link down below. If you guys have more doubts, you can ask your doubts here, and I will be more than happy to help you guys. Yeah, I think if you do code for C and D also, I think if you do C and D, I think you would do great in coding rounds. Adcoder, I think, yeah, I can give you some ideas about adcoder problems. I did solve the first 4 problems today, I think. And the point is, so the first 2 problems are like easy. Like in the first problem, you just have to do the math thing, and I set my summation for this, I think. Those my summations. So here's my summation for the first problem. So I am keeping an m, x and t. So if my m is greater than or equal to x, that is my height will not increase. So it will be t itself. Otherwise, I will lose d height every year. So I will do t minus x minus m into d. So the first one was really easy. If you see the second problem, like in second problem, I was having some precision issues with C. So I switched to Python. Like so I was having some like issues here. So I switched to Python, and my Python solution is here. So I imported math and ABD. So so first I found the angle. So first I found the angle. Right. So if these are my coordinates, first I found this angle theta, right? This is nothing but this is my x, this is my y. Then it is nothing but theta is equal to tan inverse of y by x, right? That first I found theta, and then I had to add alpha, right? So then I add alpha, and then I just have to, my new coordinates will be if length of this is equal to under root of x square plus y square, then my answer will be x square plus y square cos of theta plus alpha, and under root x square plus y square sine of theta plus alpha. Right, so that will be the answer. So that is a tan to b by a. So I found that is my current angle theta, then I added the new angle alpha to it. Then my answer will be, this is my length, that is a square plus b square whole ka square root. My answer will be length into math is math of dot of cos of current, so it is by nothing but under root a square plus b square into cos of theta plus alpha. Similarly, under root a square plus b square into sine of theta plus alpha. So, and in the third problem, it was nothing, you just had to keep count of frequency, right? So like keep track of frequency of every letter in string s and string t, then just compare the strings, right? So then just compare the strings, that is if the characters are not similar, right? That is if frequency of I dot first is not equal to frequency of t of I dot first, that is the letters are not similar, then the answer is false. Otherwise, if in string s the number of letters at that segment are more than t, because in s you can increase letters but you cannot remove them. So if your frequency in s is more than in t, then the answer is again impossible. The second case is if frequency of s is equal to 1 and in t the frequency is more than 1, because you at least need 2 letters in s to increase the frequency. So if there is only 1 letter and frequency in t is more, then the answer is again false. So if we see problem D, I use DSU in this, so you don't have to do anything. So like just keep a DSU, right, and see how many circles are intersecting, right, and store them in a DSU. So now you know all these circles are intersecting. So if I start on circumference of any circle, I can reach the circumference of any circle, right? So in a DSU you can go from any point to any point, right? Then for you have 2 points, sx sy and tx ty. Then find all the circles that contain sx sy and count all the circles that contain tx ty. Then for every circle, that has sx sy, and then iterate for every circle that has tx ty. Let's call this circle c1 and let's call this circle c2, and see if c1 and c2 are in a same DSU, right? If c1 and c2 are in a same DSU, that means you can easily move along the circumference and you will be able to reach from sx sy to tx ty, right? So that's the solution for this. So here I'm keeping a DSU, and here I'm checking if 2 circles are intersecting or not. If they are intersecting, I am adding them into the DSU. Then for every then I'm checking which circles contain sx sy and which circle contains tx ty. Then for every circle that has s and that every circle that has t, if those belong to the same set, then we can move from s to t. The answer is true, otherwise the answer is false. So E was also easy, but I went outside for some reason. So in E, you just had to keep track of frequency of elements. So you have been given some frequency, right? First of all, your answer is equal to 1, right? So you have some element, right? This is a1 is equal to p1 the power, let's say 1, p2 the power m2, p3 the power m3, so on, right? So if there is some other element that is p1, let's say there is some other element a2 that is p1 the power, let's say x1. If x1 is more than m1, then if we remove this element, the LCM will not be affected, right? LCM will not be affected because x1 is already more than m1. So my LCM already has p1 the power x1. So even if I remove m1, which is smaller than x1, it will not affect my LCM. So if there is some factor, in my a1 such that my m comma I is more than x comma I for any I, then that means if I in my element there's a factor that has the maximum frequency among all the factors, then if I remove this element, my LCM will be affected, obviously. Yeah, what is your doubt? Yeah, so you just have to do this for every element that has a maximum frequency, uh, that will cause a new LCM. Yeah, man. Ask your doubt. What's the doubt? Yeah. So I think I only had the first 5 problems. I was not able to read F and G. So I hope the solutions are clear enough, and I will end the stream now. Again, if you guys want to ask something, you can join my Discord, and I can answer your doubts there. Yeah. So I will end the stream now, and thanks everyone for joining.